So the thing is, since I've been a teacher for the past whatever, I feel like I've definitely been really grateful that my parents used to beat my ass as a kid because obviously, like, each culture of people parents their kids differently. Like, we've learned that some Asian parents are strict, black people are strict with their kids, white people don't really give a fuck, So it's like, as a teacher, I feel like I've noticed the difference in the kids who are disciplined versus the ones who aren't. A lot of people say that like gentle parenting does work, and you just gotta like talk to your kid, and that can help them or whatever. But some people, what I'm saying is like they don't know how to necessarily gentle parent, right? Like they think that gentle parenting is just like never saying no to your kid. Like your kid gets whatever they want. You spoil your kid, you give them a slap on the wrist and call it a day, right? A lot of people don't really take the time to like talk it out with their kids or talk about feelings or how you should respond to certain situations. There's no consequences for the kids' actions. So it's like, I'm not saying you gotta like beat the fuck out of your kid, right? But I'm just saying like you gotta be able to talk to them as well as give them a consequence with what they just did, right? Like if they broke something and it's on accident, then sure, like you don't need to beat your kid. Like that's what a lot of us grew up with, right? If we break something on accident, our parents would be like, oh my gosh, you broke that vase, that was my mother's vase, come let me beat your ass with this paddle, right? And then we would cry, and then now we're scared to tell our parents when we accidentally broke something, right? But what I'm saying is like parents need to be able to talk to their kids as well as give them a consequence. Like the talking doesn't always help because these kids aren't really able to process that information of you just saying like, oh, don't do that again, okay? Don't run down the hallway, don't run in the restaurant, it's okay, don't do that. Like that doesn't always work. Sometimes you got to be like, yes, I'm gonna take your toys away if you don't clean up your room. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. You don't necessarily have to beat your kid, but there has to be like some type of consequence involved. So what I'm saying is like, since I've been a teacher, I can tell the difference of parents who actually like do the gentle parenting versus the ones who beat the fuck out of their kids versus this and this and this, right? So and it's not even like specific to all cultures as well, because I have like this one Asian kid in my class. He's like the best kid in the class. He's really polite, he has manners, he's soft spoken, he doesn't interrupt people, he listens, and like he's like the perfect kid, right? And then I talked to his parents. You would think that his parents would be like those strict Asian parents that want their kid to be a doctor and shit. But his parents are actually really chill, and they're separated, which is something that's like not really common between Asian people, right? But he is one of the only kids in my class who listen. And then you have the other Asian kid, his parents are really chill as well, and they try to do the gentle parenting too, but he doesn't really give a fuck because he is spoiled. His parents are together, they're both like the chill Asian parents, and I was surprised because I thought they were strict at first and I thought he just doesn't listen to them, but no, they're actually really chill. And I talked to the dad about it, and he was like, yeah, I just don't want to beat my kid because I know that would get him together, but at the same time I don't want to put that same trauma that my parents had to me. And then I tried to explain to him, because me personally, I'm gonna tell you if you're not parenting your kid properly. I don't give a fuck, right? So I told him, I'm like, yeah, but sometimes some trauma is good, because end of the day, your kid is talking back to you at 5 years old. Your kid is saying bad words. They're acting out in class. They're being disrespectful to the students and other teachers. So do you want to beat his ass when he is 5 and then get him together? Or do you want him going wild as a teenager, and now you have to watch out for him doing drugs and, like getting into bad situations, going to jail? So it's like, end of the day, I feel like these parents need to like enforce the rules when their kids are younger rather than like dealing with shit when they're teenagers, and next thing you know, they're grown men. And that is why we're dealing with so much shitty grown men these days doing terrible things to people or getting arrested or treating women like shit. It all starts from a young age, especially this generation, how they have so much access to technology. So I don't know. Conclusion is that like I'm glad my parents beat my ass, because I feel like if they didn't beat my ass, I would have ended up being one of those kids who is like really disrespectful, doesn't know how to sit still for 2 seconds, doesn't listen to instructions, running around the place, throwing shit, hitting people. And that's why like even the hitting has gotten out of control recently too, because so much kids just resort to hitting and violence and all this stuff, and their parents don't even give a fuck. Like they'll hit another kid right in front of their parents, and the parents is like, oh, don't do that, stop, what are you doing? And I'm like, bro, get your damn kid. Like they're hitting somebody else, you know? Or even at the end of the day, when their parents come to collect their kids, the parent will be like holding the bags, holding the baby and all this stuff. They're like, Billy, come line up, come on, we gotta go home. And then Billy's over there still playing on the carpet, whatever. Like, come on, we gotta go. And then Billy runs, and then he leaves the toys on the floor, and it's like he doesn't collect his things. He's like letting his mom hold everything, and she's holding the baby, she's holding all these bags. I'm like, bro, right? Because me personally, if I was a parent, all I gotta do is walk in the room, let's go, and then you're gonna clean up your mess, you're gonna say bye to your teachers, and then you're gonna get your stuff, and then you're gonna hold this, and then we're gonna go. You know, you should not have to be standing there for 20 minutes waiting for your kid to go after you've been working a whole 8-hour shift, and then you come pick up your kid. No, really? So I'm saying, like, there's a lot of situations where these kids are like out of control these days. And even when you like look on TikTok, there are a whole bunch of teachers who have been in the industry for like 30 years, and they're saying like, yeah, the last 5 years of these COVID babies have been hell. Okay,